And thank you for joining me here on Angel Heart Radio. I'm Annette McCoy, and it's always my great pleasure to be with you. I'm looking forward to this morning's show. It's called Spit Spot, Best Foot Forward, Onward and Upward. And very shortly, Rosemary Butterworth is going to join me. And I'm really looking forward to having Rosemary with me. I thought that I would come on earlier at my usual time because some people, like myself, tend to be creatures of habit. And so if you set aside this time every week to come and join me, thank you so much for being here. If you would like to make comments, and I'd really like to have comments, especially first thing this morning, come along to the Angel Heart Radio Facebook page, because that's where you can join me in the chat. Say hello, tell me where you're from and what you're up to at the moment. Are you putting your best foot forward? How are you finding life in general? May I remind everybody that these shows, all of our shows on Angel Heart Radio, should never replace any legal, medical, nor professional advice, nor your own sound judgment. Enjoy, listen, and use your own discernment about what is right for you. We all have different points of view. I often smile when I see people sitting around a table because there might be a centerpiece on the table. We all have a different view of it. And indeed, we all have a different view on life. It's so important to look at, okay, what is right for me? And indeed, that is a question we can ask ourselves all the time, isn't it? What is right for me? I like to, in the morning, look and go, okay, so yes, what do I have on today and how am I going to go about it? Good morning, Belinda. It's lovely to have you here with me too. So when we wake up in the morning, I'm really happy to know that, yes, I've woken up and I'm here for another day. How do we look at the morning? How do we start the morning? Is it with a grumble? Or is it with, oh, wow, what is it that I can do today? How can I be of service? How can I bring enjoyment to myself? How can I bring enjoyment to other people? You know, I delight in being of service. How is it that I can help others? And of course, while we're asking that question, it's really important that we consider ourselves, because there's no point in us pushing ourselves, making ourselves ragged, helping other people, if that's to our own detriment. Because guess what? We're pulled up short. No, if I find that I'm pushing myself, my body certainly lets me know. And I'm quite often using the term, you know, we get a little touch with a feather. And if we ignore that, well, along comes the brick a little harder. And then if we ignore that, well, guess what? We're hit with the Mack truck. And that's probably not a very nice thing to happen. So maybe it's time for us to reflect on where we're at. You know, how are we feeling in ourselves? Is my body happy? Is my body healthy? Or is it giving me indicators that things aren't quite right? Thank you, Belinda. So how does your body feel this morning? When you move, is your body relaxed? Oh, or when you move, is there a pain somewhere? Our bodies are really good at sending us messages. I delight in Ina Segal's work, and she has a book called The Secret Language of Your Body, or The Secret Language of Our Bodies. It points to things, like if we've got knee problems, so what anger or resentment is stored behind our knees? And I know people say, oh, I did sport as a youngster and I ran up and down the basketball court for years and years and years, and so my knees are responding. Well, that can be a physical reason. I believe there are also emotional reasons. And as Ina says, yes, lots of negative feelings can be hidden behind the knees. And so when we are aware of that, and if we can sit quietly and ask our knees, okay, so what's going on? And it's interesting what can come up. So there can be past hurts, past situations that we thought we dealt with. But, the emotions, we just stuff them down. Oh, I don't want to look at that. It's really painful. The trouble is those painful experiences then create pain in our body because we're not meant to hold on to pain. We're meant to be able to release our pain. So that's something to consider. What painful experiences have we had in the past that, oh, no, just push it away. And that's where forgiveness comes in. Forgiving other people. And the big one, forgiving ourselves. We are so hard on ourselves. That judgment that we simply, our thoughts, our actions, how often when I make a mistake and I'll go, oh, you idiot. Well, no, I'm not an idiot. I'm far from an idiot. And yet that's a message I so often send to myself. How often do we say, oh, I'm stupid, or that was stupid? When we've made a spill, we've dropped something. So often we are quick to judge ourselves, and we take those thoughts on board. So it's really important that we pull ourselves up, that we listen to our speak and we delete. When we're typing on the computer, if we make a mistake, just quickly delete it. In fact, how often do I find that I've deleted something and I didn't want to delete it? However, when we do make mistakes, we can delete easily on the computer. And it's really important that that's what we do with ourselves as well. Interesting, Belinda. Yes, how often do we keep forgiving the same issues? I believe that we have, if there is a pattern in our life, it's there because we need to take note of it. And am I making the same choice time after time after time and getting down the same path? And it's probably a path I don't want to be down. So our choices, our decisions, our thinking, and by changing ourselves, we change the world. And I believe that that's what we're being asked to do at the moment. And I know that's a message that Rosemary is looking forward to bringing to us this morning as well. You know, to look at the patterns in our lives. Look at the patterns. And if they're good ones, well, yay, let's keep them. Now, do I wake up and give thanks that here's another day to greet me? When I wake up and the sun might be streaming in my window, do I say, thank you, thank you, thank you? I don't know about you, but when the sun shines, it does make me feel different. So, and then when the rain comes, how wonderful, because it replenishes. It brings water, much needed water, to our gardens. And also a good rain washes away the negative ions. So the water that rushes down the gutters, it's doing a wonderful job. It's releasing all the negatives. You know, do you stand under the shower and let the water wash away? That's a good one for releasing anything in our bodies. To stand under the water. Agnes Vivarelli, who was with me a few weeks ago, says that when she stands under the shower, she thinks of 20 things that she is grateful for. And if you think, oh my goodness, 20, how do I do that? Well, start small and build up. Maybe you think of one thing to be grateful for and then build on it, or start with 5 and then double it. Or do small basic steps. Now, Belinda's saying that her daughter says she forgives too freely, and that sometimes Belinda might. However, Belinda, can we forgive too freely? Congratulations, you're always trying to find the positives in any situation. And I know that that's what I do. And you know, this morning I received a message very early requesting that I do something. And I must admit, it was like, oh, how do I fit that into my day? However, do you know that by being asked to do something this morning, it reminded me of a task that I had to do for myself. So I'm now going, well, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, yes, how do we look at situations? How do we best look at situations to bring out the best in them? How do we make the most of any situation? Rosemary, it's so good to see you here.
Oh, it's so nice to be here. It really is. It's a beautiful day here in Sydney. It's a nice day where you are.
It is. I'm wondering, we've got Belinda Brown in our chat room, and Belinda has been saying how she is accused of being too free to forgive. And she always looks for the positive in situations. And I said, well, that's really good. And can we forgive too easily? Because for a lot of us, Rosemary, it's very difficult to forgive.
I always think, if you hang on to things, how does that make you feel? How do you feel when you don't forgive? You know, you sort of, doesn't it shut down your heart? Doesn't it make you feel awful? Because usually you're resentful of something, you know. And these emotions make you feel awful. And I feel lead to disease, dis-ease in the body, which can lead to disease. And I think Belinda's right. Let go, forgive, and enjoy life. Oh, look, I've been waiting for you, and I've been having the best time laughing. And I'm a great advocate of letting go things, with the mind, noticing what you've got, whether you're angry or whether you're sad or whatever. And while I've been waiting to come on, I was just reading some funny things, and it makes you laugh. And you're a wonderful example of this, Annette. You laugh so readily, laugh all the time. And I heard many years ago of a situation, a man in America had cancer, and he went to a cinema and he got them just to keep playing comedies for him. Or whether he organised it, I don't know. But anyway, he sat for 3 days in the cinema. I suppose he went home to sleep at night, but he sat for 3 days in the cinema laughing. At the end of that time, his cancer was gone. So does laughter clear away your mind? Because when you're laughing, I only thought about this while I was waiting. When you're laughing, you can't think. And I thought, wow, because, we'll lead a meditation in a little while, and I'll help people be aware of the senses. Because if you're aware of your senses, you come into the present moment. And if you're in the present moment, the thoughts are gone. And if the thoughts are gone, you're not negative, right? You're in the moment now. But if you're laughing, are the thoughts gone? And look, if I have your permission, I have a little local paper here, and this is what I was just glancing at while I was waiting to come on. And it's just a few lines. And it says, "Me behave? Seriously. As a child, I saw Tarzan almost naked. Cinderella arrived home after midnight. Pinocchio told lies. Aladdin was a thief. Batman drove over 200 miles an hour. Snow White lived in a house with 7 men. I smoked a pipe and had tattoos. Ran around to digital music while eating pills that enhanced his performance. And Shaggy and Scooby were mystery-solving hippies that always had the munchies. The fort is not mine." So I was giggling when I came on. And then on this page, on this side of the page, she's got 9 important facts to remember as we grow older. Number 9, death is the #1 killer in the world. 8, life is sexually transmitted. 7, good health is merely the slowest possible rate at which you can die. Oh, look, it just gets funnier and funnier. And it's give a person a fish and you feed them for a day. Teach a person to use the internet and they won't bother you for weeks, months, maybe years, unless you give them your email address.
How true is that? Now, Belinda's saying, Rosemary, that she loves to laugh, and she has been told that her laugh is contagious, and that fills her heart. And I think that is wonderful, because quite often I will find myself laughing at somebody else laughing. And really, they do have laughter classes now. And I can remember
Wow.
in my yoga class once, I had people laughing. Because to start with it, people can be feel inhibited. But then once you can get over that and you hear other people laughing, and that sets you off. And I agree, it's a great way to raise our feelings.
Yes. To shift,
Mm,
to shift our consciousness, you know, from being negative. So perhaps we haven't got to work so hard to release things, because that always sounds like hard work often. You know, I've got to practice forgiveness, so I've got to practice this, so I've got to practice that. I've got to practice being in the moment now, you know, I've got to meditate and do all this. But perhaps we just need to laugh more as humanity, you know, see the funny side of things. Like, I'd love to be with Belinda and just hear her laugh, and that is contagious, you know. So this all happened because I was waiting, and I just picked it up. I picked up this little magazine and thought, and this lovely editor, it's just a little local paper, and she was just filling in because she obviously didn't have enough copy, you know.
right.
So she puts these little things in to fill up the space. And how wonderful is that? I must give her a little note and say how much we enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Little did she know that it was going
Yes.
to be. And see, Rosemary, I believe everything happens for a reason. And here you are. We're talking about spit spot, best foot forward. And here you are bringing the importance of laughter. So, so true.
So,
Belinda is saying, when I'm crying, my thoughts are self-sabotaging, even though I strive every day to be a better me.
that's very, very important to notice, that when we're crying and when we're sad, it's all about me, how I feel, what's happening in my life. But when we're laughing, it's not. It's just, we see something nice. We see something to make us, you know, bring up that happiness that's already inside us. And we stop being self-centered. I agree with Belinda. It's, you know.
That is to say, it is important that we cry at times, because
Oh,
otherwise
yes.
we stuff the emotions down. And that was what I started the show talking about, knees and how they can hold resentments and anger. So it is important that we do release our emotions. It's for how long? No, it's important, isn't it, Rosemary, to release them and move on.
Oh, onward and upward, as you say. You know, so yes, the emotions need to be released. And that sort of opens the heart then. The heart's been closed. And then the heart cries and releases the emotions. Take a deep breath, you feel better. And you can then focus on more important things. Yeah.
Well, do you know, Belinda's saying that everything happens for a reason, which is a given for me. And Belinda is saying, today is amazing. I so needed to hear this. And see, Rosemary, I know that people tune into Angel Heart Radio exactly when they need to, whether it's live at the moment, whether they watch this down the track, it will be imperative when they do.
It's so true. The timing. We can't organise that timing. You know, I didn't organise this little magazine to be sitting here.
The universe did.
The universe did, and put us together with Belinda, you know. And it's wonderful to know that. That gives you the feeling that somehow we're always looked after, always. You know, and the gratitude that arises from feeling that, oh, we're so cared for. Thank you, thank you, thank you, universe.
Absolutely. Yes.
Word.
So, Rosemary, I know that this time in the world is so important. Mother Earth is screaming at us. The universe is saying, "Come on, you know, pick up your socks." It is so important that we look at how we are feeling and how can we be, each individual, be the best that we can be, because in that way we're going to impact this world in a positive way.
It is a very special time in creation. So the shamans tell us that it's a time between the end of one age and the beginning of another age. So we're just sort of in this intermediary space where we're finishing with the Iron Age and we're going into the Golden Age. So it's very, very important as the new energies come in. The energies at the moment are very intense and they affect us. So if we're being negative, they amplify our negativity. So it's very good, Belinda, to watch as you're doing what's coming up in you and letting it go. I say enjoy every moment. I say every day, this is the best day of my life. Today is the best day of my life. That's the important thing. Today is the best day of my life. Because tomorrow hasn't arrived. And yesterday's gone.
Yes.
So this is the only day I've got. So being the only day that we've got, today is the best day of our life. And every day I say, something wonderful is going to happen today. Something wonderful. And it does. It might be only small. My daughter bought me a new hibiscus plant. And she said, Mum, this is very special. And so I put it in a very special place and it's growing. It was only tiny when she gave me. And recently it had its first flower. And it was with a white with a red throat. And I put it on Facebook. It was just marvellous. And the happiness and the joy that gave me that day, you know, just seeing this flower. So that was the something wonderful that happened that day. So it's not always a big thing, but it's something wonderful that really touches your heart. But today is the best day of my life.
Absolutely, yes. And it's the little things that we sometimes are too busy to notice. You know, the fact that, you know, I am now very aware of the bird song, whereas I know in years gone past, well, I was so busy, it was background that I just didn't hear.
That's right. Yes, I put my birds on Facebook too.
Good on you.
They're there yesterday they went on because I said feeding time at Jacaranda Haven, because it's very, very funny now because I bought grated cheese to give the butcher birds.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the magpies have had babies, so they come in. We've got bowerbirds, and they like grated cheese apparently too. But the lorikeets are the bossiest and little birds. They've only little ones, and they're the bossiest. And they've decided they're going to eat grated cheese. And so there's this flurry of a morning, all these birds fighting or not. And I say, no fighting, sharing. Oh, dear.
See, and the joy that those birds and feeding those birds is bringing to you, that's beautiful.
Yes, it is. And I'm just really reassessing things now.
Mm-hmm.
That laughter quietens the mind and opens the heart. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, you mentioned meditation, and what I like about sharing with Ria meditation, Rosemary, is that it doesn't have to be a long time. If we have a long time, that's great. However, for me, the most important part is that I'm doing it on a regular basis.
Definitely. That we quieten the mind. I'm having a lot of clients ring in that they're having trouble with sleeping, their anxiety is increasing, and things like that. It's all mind stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if you meditate, even just for 5, 7, 10 minutes, it helps you quieten the mind. In that time, the mind's not thinking. That time, you're just present. And the adrenaline that's building up in the body starts to be released. It's very, very important that we actually give the mind some stillness, isn't it, during the day. So meditation, even for 5, 7 minutes, is important. It really helps you.
And I know, Rosemary, you have meditations up on YouTube that people might like to find.
Yes, I do. I have a few that I have been doing recently. One's awareness, and another one's on light, and one's on anxiety. And they're only really pretty short, but to help still the mind, so you're not worrying, which is increasing the adrenaline in your body and things like that.
So people can find those on YouTube by looking for Rosemary Butterworth? Or have you put them under something else?
My son did. I'm sorry. So sorry, I can't give you the link,
That's
but we
okay.
can put it on.
That's
on the
okay.
link
I might do a little bit of technology while we're talking. I would, yes, because Belinda's wanting a link, so I will do my best to find that, Belinda. Belinda, Rosemary, loves your childlike, beautiful heart. And see, you let the inner child come out. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Belinda. I've really enjoyed meeting you today. It's been lovely. Thank you very much. You're a lovely, lovely being, person. Beautiful light that you are.
So, Rosemary, is it time to...
Yeah. I think so. We could do a short meditation.
That would be lovely.
It's the idea behind it is to help people become more aware, to have a rest, and to balance. Because very often when they're emotional, the emotional body gets out of alignment with all the other bodies. We've got 5 bodies, We've got a physical body, a etheric body, a mental body, an emotional body, and a spiritual body. And we start thinking with the emotional body. And meditation and just awareness helps bring the 5 bodies back into alignment and peace and harmony. Okay, so just getting comfortable. That's the first thing. Make sure you're comfortable. I'm making sure I can feel my feet on the floor. Shutting your eyes. Just breathing. Feeling the body on the chair or where you're sitting. And breathing, taking a deep breath in. Oh. Breathing out. Letting go. That's better. Letting go. Being aware of the whole body now. Being aware of the clothes on the skin. Touch the skin. Being aware of the air around the face and the temperature of it. Is it hot? Is it cold? Being aware of the air going in the nostrils and out. Now increase your awareness to feel the whole room. If you're sitting outside, feel the surrounding trees. Expanding your awareness to include all the sounds around you. Listen to the furthest sound. What can you hear? Just listen. Still being aware of the breath going in the nostrils and out. While your awareness is quite large. With your eyes closed, being aware of the light. Notice any smells. Just listening, feeling, tasting the taste in your mouth. being aware of all your senses. And sinking deeper and deeper into yourself, into a state of relaxation and peace. Feeling so relaxed and peaceful. While you're listening and feeling, tasting, smelling, connecting to all your senses, which bring you into the wonderful moment now, into the present. And your whole body relaxes. Full of peace and harmony. Now I'm taking a nice, comfortable breath. Opening your eyes, moving your hands and fingers, coming back into the room. Thank you.
How beautiful, Rosemary. And I can pass on to everybody, Belinda included, that if people would like to type in Rosemary Butterworth into YouTube, former shows with me come up, and also your meditations. I noticed the one on anxiety, and there are others there as well. So thank you to your son, and thank you to Annette for giving us the opportunity to have our shows from over the time put up there. Fantastic.
That's lovely. Thank you, Annette. You're wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. And Rosemary, we all need to value ourselves and realize that, yes, we are unique and we are loving beings. And when we put our loving foot forward, especially to ourselves, gee, we can make a difference.
What I said to a client the other day, she said, I'm a terrible mother. I said, no, you're not. You know, we all do the best we can do at the time. Nobody goes out deliberately not to be the best, you know, or the best person. We do the best we can under each circumstance. Yeah. And that's why we need to love ourselves, because we do the best we can. And it's very important that we appreciate that, and we appreciate ourselves and the effort we make. Okay? It's most important that we do love ourselves and accept ourselves for who we are. And then we can move forward, like Belinda's saying, you know, that she saw she was crying. And then she said, well, virtually that's enough, you know, about me. And that's her moving forward. That's wonderful, you know. Yeah.
Which brings me, we might have new people in our audience, Rosemary, who are unaware of your book, How to Move forward. I love your book because it's such a practical tool. Yes, it can be read from cover to cover, or it can be used on a daily basis. You know, what message am I to receive today? And
Yes, it can.
let the book simply open.
Thank you. Thank you. It was meant for that reason, just to give people practical tools to use, to notice what they're thinking. Because we don't notice what we're thinking most of the time. You know, I hear the angels sometimes say to me, Rosemary, feel your feet on the floor, because I'll be lost in my thoughts.
Mm.
And I need to be brought back. And if we can't feel our feet on the floor, well, we're not here, are we? We're somewhere else. Our consciousness has taken us off. So we need to feel our feet on the floor. So that's what they shout at me. Oh, dear.
Well, Belinda's going to look for your book, which is really very, very cool. I like the way in your book, one of the things that you mention is to change the channel. And I think, if our thoughts are going down a constant path, well, then, yes, we have the ability to change that. I read somewhere once, Rosemary, where, okay, if we have a story to tell, especially if we're in the why me feeling, by all means, tell the story once, twice, or 3 times. That's it. Because if we're constantly saying the same thing every time we meet someone, then we're in a rut. And we're stuck in whatever, especially if it's a poor me situation. So once again, it's up to us. We have the ability. Other people can support us. We're the ones who have to decide, yep, it's time for me to put my best foot forward.
You know what? I just had an idea. How would this work? I would like to send a free copy to Belinda of my book.
Mm-hmm.
What I would need is her address. Okay.
Right.
So can she give you her address somehow?
She can, and I can pass it on.
Yes.
So, Belinda, if you're happy to put it, maybe we can connect on Facebook. Ooh,
yes.
technology.
If she connects on Facebook and gives you her address.
Belinda, you might like to connect with Rosemary on Facebook through Messenger. Oh, you're making her cry. Happy tears.
Oh dear, I've got some tears too. Oh,
the wonders of technology.
Yes.
She's very, very appreciative. So, yes, Belinda, seek Rosemary out. That's just beautiful.
Of course, I've got some copies here and I can send one to her.
Oh.
Okay. That would be lovely.
See, there's a little act of kindness. Beautiful.
Oh.
Yes, and Belinda's saying,
But
what
you
a
see,
beautiful gesture.
the act of kindness makes me happy.
Yes.
Made me have some tears. It makes me feel good. And I really enjoy doing that. Yes.
Yes, and Belinda.
Actually, really good point. A little act of kindness can change the world if everyone did one day, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Wouldn't it? Yeah. That would help the new age start, the golden age. Yeah.
And Rosemary, that brings me to a point too. People feel, my gorgeous mother has shown me that when somebody does something very nice, such a kind gesture, it's human nature. We feel as though we have to pay that person back. And yet we don't, because we can, as they say, that gorgeous film, pay it forward. So yes, I've received some kindness, then I pass it on by being kind, a gesture to somebody else. And also, okay, I might have done something kind for someone a while ago. There'll be a time when they do it for me. I know recently I was in a spot of bother, and people had to drive an hour to pick me up where they thought they were going to pick me up at the station, which is only 5 minutes from their house. Now, they did that willingly, and my friend reminded me that my late husband and I had driven them years and years and years earlier to the ferry. Now, the bottom line is we were there for each other when we needed it.
That timing again.
Yes. So it doesn't mean that straight away we have to do something because someone else has been kind. No, we express our gratitude and pass it on. You know, what else? What can I do? And what a lovely chain reaction that would be if, when we notice somebody's done something for us, what can we do for somebody else? Or we could start it. Okay, an act of kindness.
And this is really something that you're on to start a chain reaction, an act of kindness. And if everyone in the world did that, everyone, it would be fantastic. Yeah. Imagine the brotherhood of man, as John Lennon said. Imagine all the people living, loving, through an act of kindness. That would be beautiful. Wow. Well, we've just solved the world situation.
Well, yes, yes. Rosemary, it has been an absolute delight having you on the show today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to Belinda, and thank you to all of our invisible audience. Thank you for being with us, and may we all make this world a better place by sharing the kindness and being kind to ourselves as well as others. Bye for now.
See, this is Angel Heart Radio. An act of kindness is wonderful. Thank you.